Now, you've always thought of Volkswagens as fun, enthusiast-driven cars. So, what do you think of an EV from them? Now, you see that this is the new Volkswagen ID, the EV sub-brand face. So, it's quite different from what you would expect from a regular VW. But all of this is towards improving aero efficiency. So, you have that full width, flat, closed face. This really quite swept back lighting element. To be honest, there's a lot of good detailing here, as you can see, but it's pixel LED lighting, but very well done. And then it's usual EV fare down below. You have air inlets here to sort of cool the whole system, again improve aero efficiency. This has a drag coefficient of about 0.28, which is not the best in the segment, but it's still sort of okay-ish. And of course, there's an air dam here to cool the battery pack. Now, as you can see in profile, the ID.4 is very typically an EV. So you have that long wheelbase look. Now, even though the car is about 4.5 meters long, it has a 2.8, nearly 2.8 meter wheelbase. So that's really quite long, and you see that in the design of the car. And that sloping sort of fastback-ish roofline. Now, again, to help more things that help aero efficiency is this pull type door handle. Now, there's a button operated system here, and these large 19-inch wheels with the fully blocked covering. Now, from the rear, you notice that it's probably the best looking angle of the ID.4, and it has that really quite wide, that full width lighting right from the front here. And you know how VW does things, right? So there's a good deal of detailing here with those really quite interesting patterns that you see in VW cars here. Now, another change is this white VW 2D logo. Now, the one that comes to India will probably have it backlit, which will give it the other nice touch. Again, helping with this whole EV architecture is the practicality. Now, you see the boot. It's pretty big for its size. Now, you don't get a spare wheel, of course, because the motor and control units are underneath here. But for a family's weekend's worth of luggage, it's just about fine. Now, here's what the cabin of the ID.4 is like. Now, of course, a lot of it will be familiar to you if you've seen VW cars in terms of just how simple but very classy layout that you have in these simple surfaces and these simple air vents. But there's a lot that's different. To start with, you have all the benefits of that EV architecture. So, as you can see, it's a very open space with a lot of play space in your footwells, and the center console that's just pretty much a big storage compartment. So, you have very deep cubbies over here, cup holders here, more space below down here, and two Type-C charge ports, and even the armrests, as you can see, are sort of separate ones. The seats themselves are, again, as you'd expect in a VW, quite comfortable. You have these really nice extenders, which obviously help a lot, and good high quality suede materials. Most of the materials here soft here too, and yeah, some of the plastics maybe are of a lower standard than what we've seen, say, in the Tiguan, but again, for the price that this car will come at, I think it's good enough. But the big difference from, say, what you've seen so far in VWs is that everything is now centered around this 12.9-inch screen. You do have a lot of functions, but everything is through here. For example, you have these drive mode controls right through here. You have heated seats, and of course, I'm sure there'll be a cooled seat option for India. All the climate menus are through here, and which you control through these sliders, which may be a bit difficult on the move, but of course we'll see that later. There's a heated steering wheel function as well. Among other features, you have driver assistance system. You also have this IDA connected tech assistant, and as well as ambient lighting. There's also the seat position adjustment thing that you've seen in some luxury cars. And now, coming to the rest of the layout of the car, there's a small screen here for you to just see what's happening. This will give you the charge levels, the range, and your speed. It's a very limited sort of display here. But what's very different about this car is that the gear selector, since this is completely open, is now on the side. So you press it for park. There's a B one pedal driving mode as well. And another difference from regular VW models is that, as you can see, there's a lot of capacitive panels around here for controlling the screen, the ADAS functions, all the climate controls, as well as all the lighting. Now, you've seen this sort of in some Audis, but it's very similar to that. You also see that with these window controls. Now, you don't have, a very odd thing that is here is that you don't have rear physical switches for the windows. So, of course, you have switches for the front like this, and then you press this one button here, and that's what makes the rear windows work. Now, with this EV architecture, you see the most benefit in the rear seat. So, to start with, you have a fully flat floor. and a separate climate zone as well here, and 2 Type-C chargers. Now there's also an eco mode for the AC, which you don't see very often in a regular VW car. And must be said that the amount of space that's on offer here is really quite good enough for what this car should be priced at. As you can see, you have a fixed glass roof, but for my height at least, there's enough headroom. Maybe someone taller will find that sloping roof may eat into the headspace. The seats wide enough for 3 very easily. Even under-thigh support, which is usually an issue with EVs, is not a problem here. I have just enough for me. Maybe the bench is slightly high, but I can still tuck my feet in. I have a lot of knee room as well. And yeah, the seat contouring, as you would expect in any other VW, it holds you in place well. Now, among other things, as you can see, this folds down completely. But sad, let me see if I can, usual straight out of a Tiguan maybe, this cup holder arrangement. Now the ID.4 will DC fast charge at 175 kilowatt, and with this setup, it's a dual motor setup. You should get about 286 PS and 545 Newton meters, and the WLTP range will be about 550 kilometers. Now Volkswagen hasn't given any timelines yet, but the ID.4 should launch in India sometime later this year. And with the new EV policy, this should come at a really quite enticing price. So we're expecting anywhere between 40 to 50 lakhs. So would you choose this or a Tiguan? Let us know in the comments.